Okay, we've been at the Tiffin Service Center in Redbay, Alabama for a while now. Today, Ryan's hitching us up and we are gonna go over to a little town, Belmont, Mississippi. Now that's where Tiffin paints their products, but we're gonna do a little something else that's not painting.
Here we go again.
You know, we weren't planning on coming to service.
Let's do it one more time.
Since the day we bought this rig is this big old galley slide is throwing water somewhere.
Here we go again.
Okay, we just arrived at the Tiffin Service Center. We're in Redbay, Alabama. We've been here before, if you remember. We were here for a while, about a year ago, but here we are again. You know, we weren't planning on coming to service. We didn't want to come to service, but we have a long list still that needs to get addressed. It's all from our 1-year warranty. So I don't know how long we're going to be here. You just stay until your work is done. I've heard some rumors of some people being here for quite some time, and you know, we were here for a long time last year. So I'm trying not to think about how long we could be here and more focused on let's just get this done so we can move on to our next step.
Okay, so the Tiffin Service Center has historically been for the Tiffin Class A people, but as of last year, they opened it up for us Vanleigh people to show up, and that's why we were here last year. Now, the way it works is you show up, you check in, and you get assigned a number and a piece of paper that they throw into your windshield and on your rig. And for the Class A people, they get to pull into the pull-throughs into the campground. For us Vanleigh people, they put us into, well, an area behind the fence, basically put into a line, and when your number comes up, you get assigned a technician and you get pulled into the bay to have your work done, and they work from 7 a.m. every day up until 3 p.m. Could you imagine somebody like us with the amount of issues that we have taking our rig to a dealership, because we would probably never see it again. So if you come to a place like this where you check in and you get assigned a technician, hopefully that technician can go through your list and try to tackle and get through as much stuff as they possibly can. All right, so it's raining and it's early, but today starts our day of service here. They're getting ready to pull us into a bay, I think. We've got everything ready to get closed up. I don't know, we'll see what the day brings us here. Just about 7 minutes till 7, which means any second we're gonna hear that door opening. They've been putting us right out in front of the bay here, which works out really nice for us because it's a nice asphalt pad. We've been here, I don't know, we got here 13 days ago. We're kind of pushing the limits of our tank. So one of the issues that we've had is this big galley slide has been leaking since the day we bought it. I'm sitting here, and as I look down, I see something that I don't like. And what I'm hoping is that I'm not seeing water damage. It's been a pretty big problem for us. And all 3 times that we've been to service centers, they've looked at it. They've not been able to get down to or find the problem. And I've tried chasing the problem. They've been added sealant. They've added a Turnabond. They've sealed up other things. They've fixed the damage, you know, the cosmetic issues with the wood. Not been able to chase down this problem. Well, we're out in front of Bay 16, and this technician started digging, and we think we found what the leak was. So this is the first time we've seen this end of our house look brand new again. Since we purchased the rig, this end table down here and the trim has been waterlogged, so it swelled up from the water intrusion, and the tiles have been lifting, and at points they tried to glue them down. So then we had it looked like there was dirty stuff all over the floor, but it was really just glue residue all over the place. So that is addressed, but the more important point is we think we found, or we, like it was a team effort, he found the intrusion point on that slide. The screw was broken on the slide topper. The water was seeping in through there. It was coming up on top. The water was all pulled up underneath there. It was going down into like the wall frame, the hole in the wall frame, and it was all running down that wall frame and then dumping down into the bottom of the slide. And then he said he could see where it's just running down the back of like the cabinets, and then it's all into the wall. Right, so it's about 5 minutes to 7, You can hear the buses going by. Everybody's trying to get to their bay. So we're thinking today is going to be the last day in our technician's bay. And then we have to go off to the specialty bays, which is like the woodwork and body and paint. But I'm missing something right in here somewhere. This looks a little different. Really what it is a bigger sink. This is a bigger sink. So as they were working in here yesterday, one of the guys that was working on the sink and the stairs found out he was one of the guys that were working the plant, and went back through plant pictures and saw him standing right here. That's kind of a cool thing. Worked at the plant, now he works over here at the service center.
Okay, we've been at the Tiffin Service Center in Redbay, Alabama for a while now. Today, Ryan's hitching us up, and we are going to go over to a little town, Belmont, Mississippi. Now, that's where Tiffin paints their products, but we're going to do a little something else that's not painting.
I didn't know that goes under. I wonder if they can shut off the under portion.
I know Ryan's not worried about the dogs, but of course I'm hypersensitive about the dogs. And so there's water. I don't know what to expect here with like a big car wash. Like Hannah would not want to be in a car wash. So maybe it's not going to be so bad for her, I hope.
Right, and he's going to watch from the inside to see if we have any water penetration coming in from that slide that they've been working on. Okay, if there's a leak, that should find it. Look how much water's coming off there. He's inside there right now, and he's monitoring that slide. That's where we've had the leak. And he's watching to see if any of the water penetrates over there. The Tiffin rain booth is over at the Belmont paint plant. Now, Belmont paint plant is Tiffin's paint plant where all the Vanleighs, all the Super Cs, all the Class A's all go for paint. And after they were done running the Class A's or the Super C's through paint, they would take them to the rain booth to check them for leaks. So they run them through there to make sure they're not leaking before they send them back to the plant to do like their final PDI before they send them out to the dealership. Now, while we're here and our technician is working on our leaks and he goes to test it, what better way to test it than to send it to the rain booth? Because at that point that he thinks he found the leak, he could go out there with the hose, we're talking about this, and just spray it down, or he could take it through there. And there was a lot of water. And that thing, I don't know the stats of how much water that thing pours onto it, but there's a lot of water. While our tech was inside of our rig, while all that water was being poured on it, he did find a couple other leaks in a couple other locations. Like our fan was leaking. That's really minor. I think the lid was probably just blowing up and down as the water was hitting it. And then there was a couple seal issues. But there's a lot of water being thrown at the side of our rig. So he's going to take a look at those on Monday and see what we can nail down. So we're going to sit here and we're going to continue watching this weather and see how it develops, because even as I'm sitting here on camera talking, I'm getting tornado watch alerts on my watch, and hopefully they don't turn into a warning. And if they do, we'll go take shelter in this little facility that's right here next to us, and we'll see what next week has to bring. We'll see you next time.
Oh, here we